Starting a podcast might sound incredibly intimidating, but in fact, it's not. And in fact, 2021 is the best year to start your own podcast, whatever it's about. Business, tech, food, true crime, music, you name it. 2021 is the best year to start a podcast. And here's why. Let's roll the intro. What's going on, guys? Connor Wells here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I hope you're all safe and well. And like I said at the intro, 2021 is the best year to start a podcast. In 2020, I started my own podcast called Young Broke Musicians. It did really well. It was a lot of fun. It's still available on Spotify now. You can check it out. And in 2020, carrying on to 2021, I'm the producer of 4 different podcasts as well. Podcasting is getting more and more popular every month, and that's not going to stop in 2021. If you think back to March 2020, 150,000 podcasts were started in March 2020. That is mad. Absolutely mad. So that goes to show that 2021 is the year to start a podcast. And I'm going to give you a few reasons why 2021 is the best year to start a podcast. Let's start them off. Number 1, you can expand your brand's influence. If you have a business, starting a podcast is a great way to strengthen your personal brand and establish your business as a credible resource. Whatever your business is about, podcasting is a great way to reach a completely new audience. Building a personal or corporate brand is an ongoing process, and podcasting is one of those ways to increase your authority and build a strong brand. Number 2, podcasts are quick to digest. Now, I don't know about you, but I listen to podcasts, particularly when I'm on the go. I'll listen to a podcast on my way to the studio here, when I'm on my way back from the studio, if I'm doing the shopping, if I'm editing photos, if I'm working out, going for a run at the gym, I will listen to podcasts. I listen to about 40 different types of podcasts. It's absolutely unreal. I really need to narrow that down. But podcasts are quick to digest. You know, the average podcast length is about half an hour. I like to listen to a good long one, like Joe Rogan. If I'm doing like a 3-hour photo editing session, I'll slap on a Joe Rogan episode, and that'll see me through the entire editing process. Podcasts are effective and convenient and can be done whilst multitasking. You can't do that with a book or YouTube. You really have to pay attention to that and actually have to look at what you're listening to. Whereas podcasts, if it's just audio, you can do whatever you want. You can be driving, you can be doing your chores, you can be doing exercise, whatever you want. Podcasts are great. Reason number 3 you should start a podcast in 2021. There is less competition than blogging and YouTube. 500 hours of video is uploaded to YouTube every minute, and 10 million blog posts are published every day. That is a lot of competition and a very, very saturated market. Whereas podcasts, there is only 700,000 active podcasts. So break into that market, tap into that market and start a podcast, because the market is not as saturated as YouTube, which is also very, very competitive. Podcasting is still relatively new compared to blogging and, you know, the video market. So make sure you jump on that train, because I think by the end of 2021, podcasting could become quite saturated. So you want to start the year off starting your podcast whilst the market is still, you know, relatively small. I know 700,000 is not a small number, but compared to the amount of creators and YouTube video content that's published every day, it's incredibly small. Tip number 4 about why you should start a podcast in 2021 is the production is so easy. You don't need this or a Rodecaster Pro. Yes, the audio sounds great and you can scale up, you know, as your podcast starts to succeed and you get a lot more listeners and want to up that production value. But all you really need is a phone and, you know, like your Apple headphones or whatever you use. That's all you need to start a podcast in the bare bones and reality of it. I've posted a video about how to distribute a podcast. I'll link it in the card up there. I highly recommend you use Anchor. It is a great service and you can actually record your podcast through the Anchor app and edit it. You can add music from their extensive music library. It is amazing. Like, I highly recommend it. Not sponsored at all, but Anchor is a great way to distribute and actually record your podcast. Creating a podcast is so much more easier than producing a video, because all you're doing is recording your voice. And podcast editing is so much easier than video editing. Believe me, I have spent many, many more hours, probably days, editing videos than I have editing podcasts. Tip number 5, there's already potential to make money from your podcast. If you go onto Anchor again, like Anchor.fm, there is no minimum requirements to earn money. You can earn money with like 0 listeners by having an Anchor sponsorship. Granted, that is only available in the US at the moment. It should hopefully be coming to the rest of the world soon. I'm praying that would be nice. But you can earn a lot of money from podcasting. There's so many advertising and sponsorship opportunities with podcasting. And my final tip is, it's so much fun. Having a podcast allows you to share the content that you are passionate about. Whether it's just having a chat every week with your mates about whatever random subject you bring to the table, or if it's particularly something about your business and your brand that you really want to deliver a message about. Podcasting is so versatile. There are so many genres and opportunities to have fun with podcasting. If you're doing a music podcast, you should take it on the road to a music festival when festivals are back and you could interview bands. If you're doing a food podcast, you could film it or record it in a cafe with a restaurant owner. There are so many opportunities, and no episode is going to be the same because it's so versatile. Just keep your audience in the heart of everything you do, because then you'll grow an amazing fan base with your podcast. And also, getting your audience involved in your podcast makes it 10 times more fun. Like with the Anchor app, you can encourage your audience to send voice messages and leave you notes which you can read out and read reviews and play those audio messages in your podcast. It encourages people to listen. It's so interactive, podcasting, whereas videos, it's a little bit different, but podcasting is a little bit more intimate. It's a little bit more personal. You should start a podcast in 2021. You need to be dedicated and devote just the right amount of time to record your podcast and upload it and, market it right. But it's still so much fun, and you can increase your influence and income with podcasting so much more quicker and so much more better than YouTube, if you know what I mean. But it really starts with finding your niche, what you're passionate about. If you're interested in food, if you're passionate about food, start a podcast about food. You could review food each week. If you're passionate about business, give business advice. One of the podcasts I produce is called The Good Luck Club. I'll leave it in the description below. The podcast is about talking to entrepreneurs and giving their advice, their real advice, to help you succeed as an entrepreneur and make sure you never feel alone as an entrepreneur. That's a podcast I produce. Or it could just be a podcast of you just chatting with your mates about whatever you want to bring to the table, whether it's conspiracies, what you had for lunch, or whatever your favourite meal deal is. You just have to be passionate about it. So those are my reasons why you should start a podcast in 2021. It is incredibly fun, and as long as you're passionate about it, it will succeed. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below. And if you got value from this video, do hit that thumbs up button and hit the subscribe button as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Connor Wells. Have a great day.